Go check out NachoTV. Nachos are good for you.
First ever inaugural annual Silicon Valley Comic Con. Everybody here, looks like to be having a good time. You guys having a good time? Yeah! This is a pretty rad event in itself. I see there are tons of Back to the Future fans in this room. That's a good start. That's a good start. We've got tons of stuff out on the show floor, even dedicated to Back to the Future. The author of Back to the Future, The Ultimate Visual History, Michael Klosterman, is here as well amongst you. Here he is right here. He's got his book here. You can check that out. There's tons of awesome stuff inside. You can see the swag. You don't want to open that until 1985. So, trust me. Save that for 1985. So are you guys ready for tonight's panel? Yeah! As a huge Back to the Future fan myself, this is an honor for me. If you don't know me, my name is Jose Sanchez. I host the show Electric Playground. Been doing that for 14 years now. Still in the gray hair for you. Still young, still youthful, but not as young and youthful as the people I'm about to have come up on stage. First off, Lorraine, Baines, McFly, Thompson. Coming up in a couple weeks, just saying. And what would Back to the Future be without the Doc himself, Mr. Emmett Brown? And of course, he's here to help me generate 1.21 gigawatts of power! Marty McFly himself!
This is exciting.
It's cool. Well, we have made it back to 2015 has passed. We finally got there. The future is now 2016. Talking about Back to the Future still. After all these years, how excited are you guys that the passion and the energy for a franchise like Back to the Future still resonates even 30 years after the movie came out?
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's like back in 1985, kids saw it then, grew up, had families, then the families saw it. I mean, it's a cycle that just keeps going on endlessly. It's amazing.
The thing that's so surprising about it is that young kids buy into it like their parents did. It's like a perennial. It's like Wizard of Oz or something. When I was a kid, I used to play Wizard of Oz every year, once a year on TV, and I used to watch it. And it's like that. It's just a perennial.
My mother-in-law watches it with her daughter, her daughter's daughter, and her daughter. So 4 generations of Deutsch girls watch Back to the Future, which is like so cool, and they all get off, have a great time. So what could be better?
Now, was this something you guys felt was going to have that staying power, even just making the first film? Did you feel like, hopefully we can do the second and third one if they make enough money with the first one, and eventually you'd be doing Silicon Valley Comic Con on stage with all of these people, super excited to talk to you about it?
Never thought of it. We didn't even have deals for sequels, right?
Yeah.
No, there were no sequel deals. They didn't think that there would be another movie.
I guess that's the first thing.
Opening night and have a bit of a run at least. It's still running.
I had no clue. I was like semi-conscious the whole time. I was doing Family Ties in daytime back at night, so I was just I was just going where they told me to go, and I'd have an array of surprise and exciting faces that I'd make. Look, awestruck, number 32. So I didn't realize that there was genius around me. I mean, that's really what it was. I knew I was working hard and I was doing what I was asked to do, but I didn't realize that the level of complexity until after the question of the script and just how powerful these themes were. It really resonated with people.
Were there any particular stories throughout any of the movies that sort of stand out as special moments for you guys? And like, you either knew like, yeah, people are gonna really enjoy this, or just something that made you crack up laughing when you were shooting?
I remember the dinner scene with Crispin Glover. Remember when he was like, remember that? We couldn't make, it was like 10:30 at night, and you were delirious, and I was in that makeup, and you couldn't laugh with that makeup or it would break right here, and then everybody'd have to go home. So I was like this. At Crispin, who was insane.
Crispin was insane, isn't he?
In a very good way.
He was so great. He was so great to work with, though.
He's a genius.
You never knew what he was gonna do and how he was gonna react. And he had his idiosyncrasies about his hair and about the way he moved, and it was really poetic in a way. Once you kind of got over how weird it was.
When I watch the movie, I'm always struck by the styles of acting that were taking place. I mean, you know, Crispin had this kind of almost like commedia dell'arte. He'd make these big gestures and stuff, and like
sweep of indignation. It's a sweep of indignation.
Yeah, it's a sweep of indignation. And you did all that falling down and like this double takes. Like no one could do that like you did. You were a genius. And then you had your incredible style where you're like, I don't know, it was a really interesting, you know, gathering of acting styles, don't you think?
Well, yeah.
And I was just horny in the middle of all.
One thing that Chris does, I mean, I always mention to people, is in any film, especially science fiction film, there's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of explaining how this works in 80 miles per hour and blah, 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 and all these rules. And so you got to get them out there so the audience can understand them. And I mean, that's what Chris did, all the genius stuff he did. Nobody likes to light pipe, nobody likes to give exposition, it's boring. You know, well, you'll go here and I'll go there. Because in the history of the thing, this happened. But he did it so entertainingly and so like manically that it was an art. He turned exposition into an art form.
Bob Gale, you know, I mean, his writing just fit, it just worked. It was so easy, you know, to get into it. I know I had these long, rambling, pseudo-scientific speeches, but the way he wrote them, they made sense, you know, they seemed organic, and it made it work.
My favorite moment.
People ask me that, and I have to dig for it, because there were a lot of great moments, but there wasn't any moment that just, you know, not
So great Scott moment? Great Scott!
Have little moments that just small things, like in the scope of the whole film, all these big things happening. But scenes I remember with these two was like with Chris. The whole thing with the car on the table. Please excuse the crudeness of this model. And it was so brilliant. I just felt like I didn't have to act like Marty McFly. I mean, I just was wrapped with what he was doing. And he was mesmerized. So good. And when we did the scene where I wake up in your bedroom, that was when I knew I was on a weird movie. And it was about 2 weeks in, or 3 weeks in, we did that. And the movie was strange for me because we do a scene and we just do my coverage because there's another actor who played the role before I was hired. And so there'd be a lot of the scenes in the movie that are not me. But that was the first scene that really that we really got to do something in. And again, I was so I think blown away by how good you were and how earnest you were and how funny you were.
Yeah, there were so many great moments, and we spent a year and a half together. I mean, it was really a year and a half between all 3 movies. And so with, and then how much time in between the movies? Was it like
5 years.
Was it really that long?
Yeah, we did it in 84, 85. So released in 85, and we did the other one in 89 and 90.
Whoa. So that was a long period to spend together. And I remember when we got together to watch Back to the Future 1 before we did Back to the Future 2. And it was so cool to just see what we had accomplished and then get to do more of that. It was just such a gift.
30 years later, still going strong.
I know, it's craziness. Look at these people. So exciting.
That was what's really interesting about it, is that people do genuinely share this movie with their family members, with their friends, and it goes on. And it's one that kept being shared until the end of time. Way over there. and all these fans, I'm sure, have some questions for people. So if you guys would like to ask some questions, please come on board. There's microphones here. We're over there already. Future is now. Step on each other. Don't kill each other.
Wow.
I mean, you came equipped with the best in the hoverboard.
Do you check as far as almanac?
Oh, she's got sports statistics.
Okay, hi, I'm Stella. I'm curious if you guys could travel back in time, what time would you travel back to?
Do you have a good answer for that? I'm a woman, so I'm happy to be right here. Right here. I want to get the same amount of money as a man. I want to be right now. So that's my answer. But you guys can probably have other ones.
I worked with Woody Allen once, and he said there was we were having a conversation about time travel, and he kind of came into it late, and he said that he wouldn't want to be living any time before the invention of penicillin. I kind of feel like that too.
Is there
I like to go back to bed.
Let's go back to bed.
Back to bed.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Back to the furniture.
Hi, my name is Chad, and I think I speak for everybody when we say we'd love to see a part 4. Is there ever a chance of a part 4, or has there ever been a conversation behind closed doors of a part 4?
Not that I know of. And I know they're doing a musical in England. They're pretty good at a musical. Which I will have nothing to do with.
Chris is the only one who could be in it.
Chris should be in it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think, no, they haven't talked about it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do another Back to the Future. I don't know if they'll come looking for us. But, my son, he lives in Brooklyn, he's a hipster. He's working on an app.
Anybody here working on an app?
Back to the future? That sounds
I was just wondering if any of you have seen the show Rick and Morty, and if so, what did you think of
Rick and Morty. Have you seen the show Rick and Morty? I haven't. I'm not a hipster. Is that a hipster show?
it? No,
Oh.
you should. And at the end, can I give you all hugs?
Hugs?
I'm available for those now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Marty McFly is a 17-year-old high school disgraced nuclear physicist, and they never explain that. So do any of you have some theories of how they met?
It's like Batman and Robin, don't ask.
I've never heard anybody refer to Doc as a disgrace.
You're well accomplished.
That's so funny.
But, you know,
I always went to he was a teacher of his, and they just had interest me on the classroom. They broke back into the future. They figured it out.
Where's his friend? Thank you very much.
Doc.
Hi guys, I'm awestruck right now. You guys are amazing. I'm just a big fan. So Back to the Future as a series got to play in a lot of different times, periods of time, and was really fun in all these different eras. Did you guys have one period that you had the most fun being a part of, playing around in that specific time?
I loved Back to the Future 3. It's always when people ask me. It was a Western. Who doesn't like a Western? Horseback riding, that steam engine, and Doc had a romance.
One of the great things about making a movie is when you get to, the courthouse square where they changed it all the time. It was always such a magical moment when we would, round that corner for rehearsal and see that they completely changed it. Or when I walked into the dance, the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, and it was all these people dressed up like the 50s. It was so amazing to me.
And my favorite was the 50s. I love that. I love the wardrobe of the baggy pants and the two-tone shoes and the Johnny B. Good stuff. You look so pretty in that dress. Big dress.
Yeah.
It's just like all taffeta and it's just all fuzzy and nostalgic.
What's weird is my daughter is working with that same costume designer right now. The same one, Deborah Scott, is designing her dress, which I think is so cool.
Thank you.
I was wondering what you think made Back to the Future so successful as compared to some of the other sci-fi films.
I think imagining yourself in another time in the past or another time in the future is kind of a universal sort of fantasy that everybody has. You wish that you could be in the future somewhere, you wish you could be in the past to see. So I think it certainly appeals to that kind of very human.
It was a perfectly crafted screenplay too. Look at the screenplay, it's perfectly, and everyone's fascinated with their parents and what their parents were like. That's how the story started in Bob Gale's mind. Apparently he saw a picture of his dad in a yearbook and wondered what it would be like to meet him, when he was that age. And the idea that we all start out with the same dreams no matter how old we get. We were young and had dreams and wanted to pick up their own son and things like that.
I think also the thing about the movie as a movie, as an entity unto itself, it was purely emotive. They weren't looking to do a franchise. They weren't looking to do anything. They just wanted to make this movie. They wanted to make it like any other movie or in the style of something else or something that reminded you of another series of franchise movies. They just wanted to make this movie. And it was so pure, their intention and their effort, that they created something really special and kind of took on a life of its own.
Thank you.
of film had an impact on your lives?
Completely changed my life. It was amazing. I was doing a TV show, and people go, you go up to me and say, you're in that TV show. I said, yeah. I said, oh, that's cool. And then Back to the Future, like, what the heck? And I really does reset everything to deal with a new reality. But it was, I'm so proud of the part I played in that film, but I'm really aware of how many other people did amazing work to support, not to support, but to blanket my contribution in a lot of talent and a lot of effort. And so it was an amazing experience.
And also, which film do you prefer, Back to the Future 2 or Back to the Future 3?
Well, I like 2 a lot. I like 3 too, but everybody likes Once Upon a Time and everybody likes to live happily ever after. They get sticky on the middle part. And that's what Back to the Future 2 is. It's the middle part. It's not meant to be digested alone. You take it with all 3, so it's kind of misunderstood. But I agree with Chris. I mean, seeing him in Back to the Future 3, he was amazing. He was so great.
Thank you so much, guys. Love you.
I was going to ask you what interested you in the roles that you guys got, like when they were first casting them.
When I read the part, I was just, this is the greatest part ever. I was so excited. And for some reasons, sometimes things just click. And I remember having to audition for both the young and the middle-aged Lorraine, and really understanding both those characters. And, and they were such polar opposites. And the idea of playing someone with so much hope and someone with no hope was just amazing to me. And I just remember, thinking this is the greatest script and this is the greatest part. And so I still feel incredibly lucky to be mostly known for being in a great part. It could have been a terrible part that I'm known for, but this was great.
For me, I always tell the story, but I was doing a movie in Pasadena, a werewolf movie. I was taking my trailer, and I was sucking my lunch through a straw, and I had all this goop on my face and yak hair. And I was sitting there, and then I heard that there was a location scouts on the block looking for locations for a new Steven Spielberg production. And I heard Crispin Glover was in it, and I knew Crispin, so I was pissed about that. And I'm like sucking soup through a straw and getting stuck in my yak hair. And who's talking to me doing a werewolf movie? I should be doing that Spielberg thing. And little did I know that they'd already, at that point, they'd already approached Gary Goldberg, the producer of Family Ties, asked him if I could do it, and he said he could let me go. So they had decided I couldn't do it, and all this was happening, I had no idea. And then around Christmas, Gary called me into his office and it gave me this envelope. He said, this is a script that Bob Zemeckis is doing, Steven Spielberg is producing, and they want you to read it. And he told me the story of how he not let me go before, but he was willing to let me do both things at the same time if I wanted to do it. And he said, so take the script home and read it, and let me know what you want to do. And I took the script, I put it on his desk and said, it's the best script I've ever read in my life. and within a week, I was in the parking lot in Puente Hills with flames running through my legs.
What kind of really excited me about Doc Brown, I love stories about scientists like Einstein, etc., who are able to imagine in a realm that we can't even begin to enter, and come up with something like E=mc², which explains so many things and changes science and the excitement of discovery. I just thought, which is what Doc is all about. I mean, he tries things that don't work. He invents an automatic gadget to feed dogs. I mean, it's whatever you know, but to invent a space-time travel, just the excitement of having that kind of mentality to come up with solutions to things that most people find unfathomable, amaze me. Talking about, somebody was asking about impact. So many times, including today, people who come up will say what an impact the Back to the Future trilogy had, and that they became physicists, or they became doctors, or they this and that, or something that this film has changed people's lives. And they'll come out and say, this movie changed my life. And I just think that's one of the incredible things to be a part of that, and in a positive way, not, in some kind of...
I mean, that was a lot of guitar players.
Yeah.
I get that with a lot of guitar players. And it's funny because I'm such a crappy guitar player. But a lot of musicians, a couple big musicians have said to me that was, like Chris Martin said that was really turning point in his life, seeing that.
Wow. Wow.
You're welcome, Chris
That's
Martin.
cool. Yeah.
Chris Martin, McFly.
Hi there. So my question is, I know you guys play iconic characters, but would there be one crack of any other character than your own that you would have like one shot at any particular scene? Like for example, if Marty could have been Biff.
Wow. I wouldn't want to be Claudia's part. No, I'm happy with my part.
I want to be a spoon. That Sloop Bean in the background.
Billy Zane, man.
Billy
Zane, man.
Let's say he was go matching. Now, who's J.J. Combs to matching?
Oh, yeah.
Toothpick.
Yeah. Would you want to play a different part? Did you want to play my part? You wouldn't look good in that pink dress.
Well.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, that's one of the things about the movie. It really was really, really well cast. I mean, sometimes things can go really awry. I mean, second time it was really well cast. But
First time it was well cast.
Yeah. But I mean, it's hard. Sometimes, things, everyone's part, they don't click. And this one seemed to click really well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mr. Fox, love you and Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. When you make jokes about the disabled, it's always an area where it's kind of touchy. You don't really want to go there, or how far do you want to go? When you got the script, was that something that you said, oh, you better tone it down a little bit, or did you give them encouragement to say, yeah, let's take it further?
Yeah, I think, because one thing I noticed since I've been kind of a member of the disabled community is that like anytime, for a long time, anytime you saw a disabled person on TV, you'd hear soft piano music in the background, and people would be whispering in tones of, oh, he has this and he has that, tinkle, 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 tinkle. And I say disabled people can be jerks, they can be human beings, they can be people you argue with, they can be people that you interact with every day. That it's important to normalize, the aspects of their life that are unchanged. They have to pay taxes, they have to go through life, go grocery shopping, do whatever they have to do. And so to make them sane, to project some stuff onto them is not helpful. So I thought, it was just, Larry David was a chance to just play a guy who was a guy. It was me, nominally, but it was, I got a chance to play a guy who argues with his neighbors and plays games with people and messes with their perceptions. I thought it was a good opportunity. So I wasn't really making fun of the disabled, I was making fun of the human condition, that we separate ourselves based on what we see and we project on other people things that they may not be feeling or thinking.
Also, so my question is, did you ask them or say, hey, let's take it further? Or did you say, oh, you're going a little too far?
Oh, we just improvised. the show is improvised, so they have a basic thing like, okay, Larry's gonna come up and complain about the noise. So I say, okay, I'll come up with an excuse for the noise. And you just start doing it, and he's like amazing. And you just start arguing with him, just coming up with stuff, and next thing you know, they say, it's great, we got it. And 2 months later, I saw it on TV and said, oh, that was funny.
Thank you very much.
But that definitely go as far as you want to go. Curb Your Enthusiasm, they have no limits.
Hi, we've seen in Back to the Future 2 hoverboards. We saw self-lacing shoes. This question was kind of directed towards Michael. What are your thoughts on that? Just the fact that these things are now actually happening, they exist today. What are your thoughts on the stuff that you guys saw years ago in the movie happening now?
Well, I can't say that I saw it. I mean, Bob Goehner and Bob Zemeckis, who have the amazing brains to come up with this stuff, make these leaps of probable progress. And I think they just, I mean, in a way, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because, like with lace-up shoes, I mean, Nike said, let's make real lace-up shoes like we pretended we made for the second movie. So, but they do, I actually have a pair of the Nike lace-up shoes and they're amazing.
Yep.
They come in handy for people with Parkinson's. Push your button.
Hi. Hello. I have a question. If any of you three have seen Doctor Who? Any of the Doctor Who fans here? Do you think that the Doctor could be in the same time that Dr. Emmett Brown or Marty McFly would be in, and they could meet?
Sounds like a good comic book.
I don't know Doctor Who that well. All I know with Doctor Who is every time I turn around, there's a different Doctor Who. Who's Doctor Who? But, sure, we get those guys together with Bob Zemeckis and Bob Goehner. See what they come up with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any possible contact?
Hi, my name is Sandra, and I just have to tell you how wonderful it is to see the three of you together and how special it is for us. What is it like for you guys to get together again? And have you been able to keep in touch as much as you'd like over the years?
Well, lately we've been seeing each other live, at least. It's really nice. We've done a lot of different movies together.
With the anniversaries that come up, they bring us together and do stuff together, which is really fun. But I think I'd like to have stayed in closer touch over the years, but whenever we see each other, the three of us, and extended cast beyond that, it's great. It's like, she looks 23 to me.
And then my second question is for Michael. I was probably about 15 and I wrote you a fan mail and sent you a picture. And I got it back and it was signed. And did you sign your own fan mail? I did not know. And it was probably like
Family Ties?
Family Ties,
Yeah,
16
I
magazine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to see you all.
Thank
you.
How's it going? My name's Doug. Huge fan. So throughout all the movies, there's lots of stunts with riding skateboards and grabbing onto trucks, which I got in trouble for a lot when I was younger. There's lots of trains and riding horses. Did you guys do all your own stunts? Some of your stunts? Were there any mishaps or any crazy stories of any?
Go ahead, Chris.
I remember I had a sequence when I'm chasing the train. I'm galloping along. I actually did that, and which was pretty thrilling.
There's usually
Galloping
a
along.
train, right? Huh? In that canyon wall on the train, and we're galloping along there. The train on one side, train 5 feet on this side, and then the granite wall on.
Yeah. When Doc's supposed to, he's galloping along, and he gets next to the train, and there's a handle there to pull himself onto the train, off the horizontal of the train. and I wasn't doing that moment. The stuntman did that moment.
What could go wrong?
But I remember the take was going on, and I caught up with the train, and I so wanted to grab it, pull myself on the train, but if it didn't work out, it could have been kind of bleak.
For me, I did a lot of stuff, skateboarding and a lot of stuff. That's to the point where you could get killed, and then even if I wanted to do it, insurance wouldn't let you do it. But the one thing that kind of went awry, we were doing the hanging scene in Back to the Future 3, and I had this thing with Bob whenever I do a take, and I wasn't happy with it. I'd say, okay, forget that. Now you can see some acting. We'll do it. Let's do it again. And now you see some acting. And he wasn't convinced that I was being hung. It didn't look like I was being hung. So I said, okay, I'll put my hand in there, and I'll lift my feet off the ground, and I'll actually hang for a little bit and see how it looks. I said, watch this, Bob, it'll be great. And I blocked my carotid artery, and I went out. And I woke up, it seemed like 3 minutes later, at the end of a rope. And that was the hairiest experience I had.
Great Scott.
Yeah.
I just had a lot of push-up bra stunts.
Yeah.
They were dangerous. Very dangerous.
We saw some of those stunts.
Yeah, it was very, very frightening.
And the part 2 of Lorraine boobs.
Yeah, the Lorraine boobs were very difficult.
What is that one you had? You made me get these.
These things! Going back out!
Good boy Wonder has a question.
Yes. I have four questions for Mr. Lloyd. If Raul Julia had lived, hadn't died playing that horrible Street Fighter movie, would there have been a proper third Addams Family movie?
I don't know that for sure, but it certainly made it could have. I don't know what to say to that.
I mean, I'm counting Addams Family Reunion.
I don't know whether they were going to do another sequel to that or not, but I'm sure if Raul was around, he would.
Did you know there's going to be the real time machine invented by Ronald Mallet?
Is there a real time machine?
Yeah, it's going to be invented very soon.
It's going to be invented. That's how far ahead the future goes. Time machine's already invented, but we don't know about it. Yeah. Or do we? Robin knows.
And one more thing, do you like Nostalgic Critic?
Nostalgic critic?
What?
I don't know. We don't know any.
Oh, you met him. I mean, you met him. Remember, are you, like I was frozen today? I mean, that,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Awesome.
Did you saw his review for Food Fight?
No.
Thanks, Robin. To the back page!
We're trying.
Hi guys, my name is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
I actually wanted to target Michael J. Fox on Parkinson. What was that?
As your target, I like to hear target.
So I actually have Parkinson's myself, as you can see, as I'm holding my phone. I just wanted to see how you deal with your struggles. I mean, eating soup is pointless. Taking pictures is pointless as well. You know, I'm trying to take a video here and it'll just be like,
yeah, my wife, like, take a picture, no, forget it. It's, I've had one time that I was diagnosed in 1991, so that was a long time ago, and I just look at my life. It's things come up that are harder to do, or are consistently more difficult to do, because it is a progressive disease. I just take note of it and find another way to get around it. And it's like, it's kind of corny, but a thing that I often say is, if you imagine the worst case scenario, You obsess about the worst case scenario, and it actually happens. You lived it twice. So I just try to take every day as it comes, and it's definitely difficult. You get caught up in the difficulties of it.
Yeah.
But I try not to dwell there. I try to take care of that. First thing in the morning, I wake up and I'm a mess, and I walk by the mirror and I look at it and I say, "What the hell are you smiling about?" And I keep smiling my day for the rest of my day and go through it.
On that note, unfortunately, we are out of time, but these guys are going to be here all weekend to celebrate with you guys. Thank you very much for coming out.
To NachoTV.
Thanks.